Hi everyone and welcome to Geometry, lesson 3.1. So we're going to start unit 3 now, and unit 3 basically involves something called parallel lines and their relationships and the angles that are formed by them. So the first thing we're going to look at are these two parallel lines, which is line AB or BA and CD or DC. Now parallel lines are lines that never touch. Alright, so when we go ahead and we look at it, so parallel lines are technically two coplanar lines. So coplanar just means they're on the same plane, so the same like flat sheet of paper, and they do not intersect. All right, so they never touch. They're running in the same direction. So the arrows, which are these right here, they're used to indicate parallel lines. Now, sometimes it might be where you have multiple parallel lines and they'll have two arrows. So if they have the same amount of arrows, that just indicates they're parallel to each other. So the notation for this would be we have line AB or BA is parallel to line CD. All right, so that symbol is this. Okay, that right there equals parallel. Now, just like parallel lines, parallel planes just mean there are two flat surfaces, like two pieces of paper, that are just laying on top of each other but never touch. So those are just planes that never intersect. All right, so we could say here that plane J is parallel to plane K. All right, then we have something called skewed lines. So now skewed lines, those are lines that are going to intersect at some point. All right, so for skewed lines, those are going to be non-coplanar lines. That never intersect. All right. Oh, I said they do intersect. They never intersect. I'm sorry. All right. So an example of this might be segment PS and VR. So PS is right here, and VR is right there. So you see how this one is running like this, and this one's running like this, but they never kind of touch each other. So imagine if you were in a room. Okay, and there's one wall over here. So this would be a wall. But let's say this is your room. Now this wall where these meet is over here. So this one's running up and this one's running to the side, but they never actually touch each other because this one is like, say 10 feet away. So those are what your skewed lines are. So skewed lines are just lines that they're not parallel, they're not perpendicular, but they don't touch. So same thing, TW and UQ. So if you look at those, TW is right here, and UQ is right there. See how they'll never touch each other? And you also can have PT and QR, and you can keep going with these different options. All right, so let's try number 1. Name all the segments that are parallel to AE. So let's first identify AE. So AE is right here. All right, that's AE. So we need lines that are parallel, lines that go the same direction but don't touch. Right, so we have HD is one of them. So this would be one right here. And FB would be another. All right. Are there any others? Well, you have CG as well. So that would be HD. You have FB, and you have GC. Those are all examples of lines that are, or segments that are parallel to AE. Now give 2 examples of parallel planes. So these are flat surfaces that don't touch. So if you look at it, like if I look at these planes right here, right, this side of the box, this side here would be parallel to it. They don't touch. So for this example, we could say this will be plane HD, and we could say plane FGC. So planes have 3 letters to name them. Another example, well, that might be the front of the box and the back of the box, right? Those are planes as well. So you have plane A, E, F, and plane H, G, C. Right? Then it wants us to name all segments that are skewed to GH. So let's identify GH, which is right here. So these are going to be lines that don't intersect with it, okay? But they're not parallel either. So we know that, we could see that, let's get rid of our parallel lines. We know that this one is parallel, this one is parallel, and that one is parallel, right, to HG or GH. Those are all parallel lines in some way. All right, so lines that are not parallel, that would be like EA. So this line here doesn't touch GH. This line here doesn't touch GH. So let's go ahead and we have EA and FB. So we have EA, we have FB. Now also, this one here doesn't touch, and this one here doesn't touch either. So you have AD and you have BC. So those 4 are not parallel. All right, so number 2, I'll let you guys work on in class. All right, moving on to a transversal. So a transversal, which is one of the most important things we're going to talk about in this class, that is a line that cuts 2 other lines. So a line that intersects 2 or more lines is defined as a transversal. So that means that line T is a transversal. See how line T goes through 2 other lines? That's our transversal. Now, when we do this, it forms different types of angles, right? So the first type of angles that are formed are called corresponding angles. Angles that line on the same side of a transversal in the same position. So when you think about it, if I look at this cluster here, actually I'll just make this whole thing. This is a cluster of angles, and this is a cluster of angles, right? See how each the transversal makes 4 angles when it intersects? When I go ahead and look at it, angle 2, this is the top right. So a corresponding angle would be another angle that is also on the top right. And if you can see, that would be angle 6. See, it's on the top right of this when I look at it. So a corresponding angle here, that would be angle 2 and angle 6. Now, when angle 1, that's on the top left. And so is angle 5, top left. So those are also corresponding angles. So corresponding, when you think about it, means just same position. Angle 1, angle 5. All right? We could see angle 4 is on the bottom left. And so is 8. So 4 and 8 are going to be corresponding angles. We could see that this is on the bottom right, and this one's on the bottom right. So 3 and 7 also corresponding angles. All right, now let's talk about alternate interior angles. Now, alternate interior, the word alternate, okay, that just means when you alternate something, you would go left, right, left, right, left, right, or right, left, just basically changing sides. And what we're alternating here is the transversal. We're jumping from one side to the next side to the next side. That's alternating. All right? Now, interior, this means inside. Well, what are we inside? We're going to be inside the 2 lines. So when you think about it, these angles here are all the angles that are inside those 2 lines. And alternate means on either side, opposite sides, right? So when I think about alternate interior angles, they have to be angles that are on the same, that are inside the two lines, but on either side of the transversal. So 3 and 5 are alternate interior, and 4 and 6 are alternate interior because they're inside the 2 lines on either side of the transversal. So this will be angle 4 and angle 6 and angle 3 and angle 5. All right, now alternate exterior. Well, alternate means the same, and if interior is inside, this just means outside. So let's look at the angles that are outside. Angles that are outside are right there. And alternate just means opposite sides of the transversal. So for example, 2 and 8 would be alternate exterior. 1 and 7 would be alternate exterior. So I have angle 1 and angle 7, angle 2 and angle 8. Now what about consecutive interior? Consecutive just means one after the other, okay, or kind of next to each other. And interior, we decided, well, that was inside. So the angles are inside here. And consecutive interior just means angles that are next to each other but on the same side of the transversal, because alternate means either side. Consecutive just means on the same side. So if I look at it, 3 and 6 are interior and they're on the same side. They come one after the other. 4 and 5 also do the same. So that means we have angle 3 and angle 6, angle 4, and angle 5. All right, so let's try example number 1. Angle 1 and 8. So if I look at 1 and I look at 8, do you see how they're on the outside of the two lines? And they're on either side of the transversal. This one's on this side. So that is alternate exterior. Right? Then we have 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are both inside the two lines. So we know we have interior, and they're on the same side. So those are those consecutive interior. 5 and 7. 5 is here, 7's here. See how this is bottom left? This is bottom left. So those are corresponding angles. Two and 7. Well, you see they're inside the two lines and they're on either side of the transversal. So those are those alternate interior. One and 3. Okay, we see that that is on the top right and the top right of those four angles. So those are going to be corresponding. And then we have 6 and 7, which are both inside. So we have interior and are on the same side. So those are those consecutive interior. All right, and then number 2, I'm going to let you guys work on your own. Okay, so here's just a little cheat sheet that you should make about angles that are formed by a transversal. So this is meant for you to fill out and help you. All right, so I'll do some of them for you to help you out, right? So name that transversal. So it wants to know, what is the transversal that angle 1 and angle 12 is on? So when I look at angle 1, and I look at angle 12, you see how they're on this transversal here, because that's the line that cuts those in half, that goes between two others. So that transversal is line L. Right, now 3 and 6. 3 is here, 6 is there. They're both on this transversal, so that is line J. 7 and 15. 7's here, 15's here. They both lie on this one, which is line M. And then finally, 12 and 14, we see they're right here. So they both lie on line K. All right, let's go ahead and name some corresponding angles. Right? When I start looking at it, if I look at this cluster and this cluster of angles, I could see that 1 and 5 are on the top right. So I can go angle 1 and angle 5. All right, if I go ahead and I examine these two clusters, I could see like 4, bottom right. I mean that those other ones were top left. So I have angle 4 and angle 12. right? I'll do one more for you. If I look at these two, now they have to be on the same transversal for this to work. You can't use this one and this one. That doesn't work. Let's go bottom left. Bottom left is 10 and 14. So angle 10, angle 14. All right, you fill in the other two. I don't know why I erased those. All right, alternate interior. So let's look at these two clusters. Interior means between the two lines, and alternate means on either side. So I can look at 4 and 9. Also, 2 and 11 also count. If I look at these two, I'm looking inside my two lines, and I can see 13 and 12. So angle 12, angle 13. I'll do one more. Let's do these two. I can say that I have angle 3 and angle 6, because see how it's between the two lines? Alternate exterior. So let's stay with these. And now I need outside the two lines. So like angle 1, well, that corresponds to angle 8, being an alternate exterior angle. If I look at these two, I can see like 7 and 14. And then if I were to look at, let's say, these two, I can do 9 and 16. Alternate exterior. Okay, consecutive interior. These are also known as same side interior. Okay, that's another way to think about it. Same side interior. So if I look at these angles right here are on the same side, and they're between the two lines. So that's angle 4 and angle 11. If I look at these two, I see 11 and 13. Those are same side interior to each other. All right, we could do like 6 and 13. So you see there's some combinations. All right, now, what about examples that have no relationship? So, for example, if I look at 4 and 13, I said that they have to be next to each other, right? Like this. They can't be diagonal. Diagonal ones don't have that name of a relationship. So like angle 1 and angle 13. Angle 7 and angle 10. Right? Angle 11 and angle 6. Those are all ones that don't have their own relationships. All right. We're going to go ahead and you guys are going to work on this 3.1, name that angle in class. All right. So I will see you in class. All right. So assuming that we've gone to class and we've done our notes, let's go finish these up. So name a segment that is parallel to JK. So JK is right here. So I could see that this one would be parallel right there, OP. So segment OP. All right, let's name a, let's go ahead and name all segments parallel to NS. So NS would be right here. So we could see that this would be parallel, this would be parallel, this would be parallel, and this would be parallel. So we can say that this would be segment MR, segment LQ, segment KP, and segment JO. All right. Name a plane that's parallel to JKL. So JKL, that would be this right here. So we can see this side here is what's parallel. So SRQ we can call it. So plane SRQ. Name 4 segments skew to RQ. So RQ, which is right here. So we need lines that never touch it. Well, that aren't parallel. So this one, this one, this one, this one. That would touch it eventually. Right, so we have those 4 on that side. So we have also, I guess, yeah, we got this one over here. So we have JO. We have JK. We have, I can't see my letters here. JN. And we have we'd also have PK. PK would also count. So those are 4. Also, you can say ML and M. Those wouldn't touch you. Not LM. ML is parallel, but NM would count as well. All right. Moving on to these ones down here. Okay, 5 and 13. So 5 and 13, those are corresponding. They're in the top right. 7 and 14, those are alternate interior. They're both inside on either side. 3 and 6, those are alternate exterior. 9 and 16, those are also alternate exterior. 4 and 7, see, these are the same side or consecutive interior. Let's just call them same side. 2 and 10, those are corresponding. They're both on the top right. 8 and 14, those are same side interior. 6 and 11, those ones have no relationship. You can't go diagonal. 4 and 13, also no relationship. And 4 and 9, alternate interior. All right. So I'll let you guys can finish this on your own. All right, name that angle pair. So basically, we are going to go ahead and highlight things. But, I mean, it's hard when we're at home, we don't have colors. But basically what I'm going to do is I am not going to highlight them, but I'll just use CA for corresponding angle, AI for alternate interior, AE. I'm going to use SS for same side, and NA for nothing. Right? 2 and 13. Right? Alternate. Oh, you do it up here. Interior. 4 and 11. So 4 and 11, those are same side interior. 1 and 16, they are no relationship. 8 and 11, those are alternate interior. 3 and 5 are same side interior. 14 and 16 are corresponding angles. 1 and 3, those are also corresponding angles. 5 and 10, those are alternate exterior. 3 and 15, those are no relationship. Right? This one's outside, this one's inside. They're on different sides, so they have no relationship. 4 and 5, those are alternate interior. 6 and 13, those are same side. 4 and 13, they have no relationship. They're diagonal from each other on different angles, different transversals. 2 and 7, those are alternate exterior. 4 and 12, where's 12? Oh, those are corresponding angles. They're both bottom left. 3 and 16, those are alternate exterior. 12 and 14, those are same side interior. 7 and 15, those are corresponding angles. They're both top right. 6 and 16, they have no relationship. 11 and 14, those are alternate interior angles. We have 1 and 3, those are corresponding angles. They're both on the top left. 1 and 11, they're diagonal on different transversals, so no relationship. 8 and 15, those are same side interior. 7 and 13, no relationship. They are not on the same transversal. And 1 and 14 are alternate exterior. All right, I hope that helped you out. If you still got questions, let me know.